More Group A action set to ensue here at the Blast Premier Full Group. Vitality taking on NIP in the upper bracket game, but Astralis taking on OG later on today in that losers bracket matchup. We didn't really summarize our thoughts on what we saw in the opening match from OG, so I want to get maybe a temperature check from you guys. How do you think they fared against Vitality earlier on today?
I don't think it was that bad from OG. I think we saw some of the strength that we can expect from a lineup like OG and the leading style from Nexa, which is very simple, quick, pacey Counter-Strike. Whenever he sees an easy solution, that's the one he's going to focus on. It worked for a while against Vitality, but I always believe that there is a limit to that, right? You have to have that deeper level of playing where you play a little bit less easily predictable and you play more map control. We definitely know he can do the fast pace. Now, the rest was a bit more complicated.
It requires a lot from the individuals if you want to play like that. There's not a lot of team play, there's not a lot of synergy. Of course, there is, certain areas in the game where you can improve at, but we saw a couple of times Fico on the B bomb side being caught by himself with an AWP. He goes down without getting 2 kills. That's it, that's over. You see Dupree and I think it was zywoo winning a 2v3 clutch. So if you want to play that playstyle, if you're OG, you really rely on your individuals, and then we need to see more from Fico. We need to see more from Newfrag. We need to see those players step up besides Dexter and Nexa. So I'm not sold on that project just yet, but it wasn't too bad, no. But again, it's a tough opponent to play Vitality with all that firepower.
And just quickly, just to raise the stake on the game that we're about to witness, right? The game that's going to be after this, the OG versus Astralis. You lose that game, you're number 4. That means you have a whole lot of best of 3 to play in the gauntlet. No elimination, I'm not going to try and put it out there. No, you're not going to be eliminated. But the path to the fall finals become incredibly long. It's a bunch of best of 3s back to back to back where you have to maybe dig deep into a playbook that isn't exactly here quite yet. Dexter is just new in the team. So if you're OG, you don't want to be 4th. You absolutely don't want to be 4th.
3 to be exact. You have to win 3 best of 3s in order to get into the fall final. So yeah, there's a long, long way. If you
or it's the showdown.
Yeah, literally, you lose one and then you're in the depth of the showdown, and we know how cruel of a mistress that tournament can be. I want to ask about just Astralis as well coming into that game too. I don't want to give away any of our predictions just yet. We are going to be predicting them later on today. But just how you're kind of seeing these two teams facing up against each other. How are you seeing that head-to-head going down?
It's a bit complicated because what Astralis has shown in the first match was very worrisome, and it was so worrisome that I struggled to see it happen again. The fact that Config completely missed the game, that can happen, but sure. Blamef never really had 2 games back-to-back where he went invisible. I don't think that's to be expected. Fardic played better than what I was predicting from him, which is great. Can we believe on that or not? I don't really know. Astralis confused the head out of me in that first game.
I would agree. I want to put a positive spin on it. I think Astralis,
you be the positive guy for a second.
I'm trying. Blamef didn't play well. Config wasn't on the server. Yet Astralis still were in a position where they were down 10-8. They should have won that round. Would have been 10-9. CT side overpass. They're all of a sudden favorites to win the game. So even though they had 2 of the star players not playing well, they still made the game competitive. And I agree with you. That's not going to happen twice. We're not going to see Blamef have 2 stinker performances, to be completely honest. He's going to do better, and I think Astralis is going to do better against OG as well.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of a cold start, just sort of wiping the sleepy dust
out
of their eyes coming into this new season. I do want to fixate our attention to be talking about Vitality taking on NIP, though, because I'm very excited for this one, because we're going to get to see Spinks taken to the server again. We're saying, the sample size of what we saw of him earlier, only 1 map. It was only on Dust 2. But as we were saying before the break, really impressed with what we put down so far, kind of matched our expectations when we're looking at a player that has been really rising throughout 2022.
Look, our expectations for the individuals are extremely high because Spinks as a name, as a player, is already established. The question is, can he harness that power in Vitality, in these roles, with these surroundings, with that kind of pressure, that kind of orb? If he can do that, he is going to be a net positive for Vitality. Minus Mizuta plus Spinks is a deal anyone, any day would take without thinking twice. But does that make the team better? It looked good for now. It's just 1 map.
That is my question mark, right? Because I'm not worried about Spinks. I agree. He's a known quantity. He's a good player. He has the qualities to change the game with the rifle. But what does he do to zywoo? What does he do to a guy like Magisk? What does he do to Dupree? Does he make them better? Is he more comfortable to play around? Can they rely more on Spinks and maybe free up Dupree a little bit more, free up zywoo a little bit more? Is he going to have that effect on the rest of the teams? That's what I'm looking for. Because yes, Spinks, he's going to come in and he's going to replace Mizuta and he's going to put more frags on the server. But is that enough to put Vitality up there where we expect it to be? Can they compete against FaZe? Can they compete against Na'Vi with Simple? We don't know obviously yet, but what's required for that to happen is that Spinks not only elevates himself, but also the rest of the team.
Well, you were talking about him kind of replacing Mizuta, and we did see that happening on that Dust 2 in terms of where Spinks was playing on that A-long. But I want to get some more specifics with Danny. What did we see from that first map from Spinks?
Yeah, so we just saw the debut of Spinks on Vitality, and something I want to kind of point out is just how he kind of slotted in. So like you guys mentioned on the desk, he basically took Misuta's spot here towards this long A area. And why that's significant is just because he used to actually be a B player. Now, B is still a bit anchory, but we'll see that that doesn't really make too much of a difference. Now, something that Apex actually mentioned in his interview with Banks was that the addition of Spinks has actually been a great late round addition, as in he's able to make impact in the late round, and this is something that Vitality really need. And this has really come down to the fact that he's just more aggressive than Masuda at the key moments. So here we have an example of just that. So here we're going to see Spinks as a long A player with about 38 seconds left on the clock. And at the same time, we're going to see that he's close enough to hear these footsteps at Catwalk. And if we think about this from Vitality's point of view, if we open up the map here, because they have this Catwalk position, with such low time remaining, they don't actually know where the hit's going to come from. They don't know how many people are outside long. They don't know if this is going to be some kind of B tunnel split. They don't know whether this is going to be an A split or a B split. And Spinks, he's going to take initiative and actually push towards the long doors. And by doing so, he's able to clear out the A side of the map. And by the time he gets to this point here, he knows that, okay, this is not going to be an A split. And at the same time, you'll see that Magix, who's playing towards this B ply area, the smoke fades. He doesn't see anyone towards upper B either. So what that means here is that based on the map now that they've cleared out all of this long A area, all of this tunnels area, it means that these players can only be here towards this Catwalk middle area. It's very likely going to be a Catwalk push, but Spinks still has to clear out more. He's going to push towards this top mid area, and you'll see that by the time he gets to this point right here, the fact that he does not see anybody falling back from Catwalk to go mid to B, this basically solidifies that this has to be a Catwalk play, and you're going to see the rotation from Vitality the moment that it happens. The rotation comes through, Dexter gets one, he gets traded in a moment here. But the important thing that you're going to see here is that Spinks, he doesn't actually push up into Catwalk. He takes it very slowly because now they know that all of the Catwalk players are contained right here. They basically have them trapped. The retake's going to come through long, through CT, and he's alone here towards his Catwalk position. Now he doesn't push in, and the reason why is because he's going to wait for his teammates here to take contact CT spawn first, to pull the attention of these Catwalk players towards CT, and then he's going to push. So the utility comes through. It forces Flames here, who is holding Catwalk, to now look away towards CT spawn due to what his teammates did, and now Spinks is able to catch both of these players in the back. And that really all just comes down to the fact that he's willing to be more aggressive at the key moments, and this is what he's been adding to Vitality.
Thank you so much for that one, Danny. I absolutely love that we get that level of insight in terms of just some of those key positions, because that's something that we were talking about being really instrumental for Vitality in the switch-up coming into this.
Yes, and it's more than just position. It's the attitude and the mindset that you have when you're playing. And it's something that Danny explained quite well. It's about confidence. It's about willing to put your life at risk and taking risk and being out there, gathering information. And that's something that also transpires to your other teammates, right? When you have someone in your team that you know is in the zone, that you know will take the risk, that you know will read the game, it bonuses, it pluses everybody else, which is what Jacob was talking about. Playing with Spinks when he's at a high level kind of grants you a plus 10% buff as well, because you know he's fine on his zone, you know he's going to make the calls.
Also a point you made, right? It frees up Apex a little bit more because he now trusts that the guy next to him, Spinks, can perhaps, you know, save him if he's making a bad call, if he's losing a duel. And we know Apex to be a guy that is constantly fighting. Whenever you see him play Dust 2, whenever you see him play Nuke, there's not a round on the CT side where he's not in a rotation position where he will fight and fight and fight and fight. And knowing that he has Spinks to his side now that can potentially clean up for him is going to free up Apex a little bit more and perhaps make him even more efficient.
Yeah, well, I still believe there's a debate to be had here, Jake. I don't know if you agree, but Apex deciding to keep that rotation spot on Dust 2 means a lot. It's a there's a strong significance to that decision from Apex, right? We have Spinks, which is arguably skill-wise much better than Apex. There's no discussion about it. But still, Apex is the one that's going to be rotating around and finding himself in position where he needs to do -2, -3. That CT side, if you were against Vitality, if you don't like that team, you can use a couple of examples in the CT side he played on Dust 2 and say, ha, look, this is where he's fucking up. This is where it's not working. So that's a risk that Apex is taking here. I hope he's aware of that, because if you keep that rotation spot on Dust 2, you better put the numbers.
It's his DNA though, right? You can't remove Apex from any rotation spot on any map. Imagine an Apex where you just put him on long and he has to do absolutely nothing. Imagine putting him on B and just sit still until...
Try that with my puppy, that didn't work out.
He can, yeah, exactly, he's like a puppy. He's just constantly going to run around and do something. So while I agree with you, there's a discussion to be had. You can't remove Apex from the rotation position. It's in his DNA. That's how he plays Counter-Strike.
Well, let's get to hear from one of the Danes on the side of Vitality, as it's Dupree with Banks.
From Vitality, a very nice opening game there. But I want you to talk to me about not just the positives, but some of the things you noticed just early on for an official game with Spinks now.
It's been a pleasure working with him so far, also in practice. So coming here and winning our first game was definitely what we aimed for. I mean, getting a good start with the new roster is always like what you want to achieve. So yeah, we got that, and I think we had a pretty comfortable win as well. I mean, I felt like we were in control most of the time, so I'm very happy about the result.
But what about some things you look at from that and you take away? Maybe Danny said, okay, I noticed this, guys, this needs to be better next time.
I mean, obviously, it's all about having a new player on the team, and like he's contributing with a lot, and also just like the fact that coming into this game, like we're playing a team that has been together for a long time. Like OG is still a new lineup in that sense, so it's also a team that has some really good individuals. So we have to be very aware. I think we did a lot of good things right, and the only thing that we probably is going to change is just we need to be a little bit more effective on the trades. But I think that's like the main thing.
Not too bad at all then. Now, you just said that about Nip, right? They are a team where they've had 5 players, same roster, strong players. Yep. Do you think this is the real test for you guys now?
I think there's a bigger test out there, not in our group as of right now. I think NIP is probably considered the best team in the group right now, considering that we have new rosters. So I think they're probably the strongest one coming into this group. And I mean, it's always they're this kind of a team that's kind of hard to play sometimes because they can play really aggressive and really passive at the same time. They have some really good individual players, so it's all about being on point individually. So I hope we can continue doing what we just did against OG and just keep working from there.
Well, let's see if it works. Dupree, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great to hear some of that confidence coming out from the side of Vitality. I like what we saw from those map vetoes as well. Obviously, this is just a best of one. We're going to be ending up on Inferno. I'm sort of praising the Lord that they didn't go with that overpass like we saw back at the
Still
major.
under shock.
Getting some PTSD from that one. But Inferno, this is going to be really exciting, particularly what we've been talking about with the positions for Vitality.
Yeah, it really is one of the map where you could see Apex throughout the season of 2022 trying to figure out what the hell they're supposed to do on Inferno. They've made a couple of changes here and there. For a while, it was the Mizuta Apex combo that was completely under the water on the B side. We saw zywoo play here as a fixed position a couple of times. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of solution they come up with this roster right now.
I guess it's not easy to imagine, right, that they have changed position. I feel like zywoo should go back to his old position where he's playing towards middle, where he can roam out a little bit more. Having him stuck on the small bomb side on Inferno, I was not too big of a fan of it. He's great, he's solid, he can play with the rifle. We even saw that from time to time, that he would just play with the rifle on the CT side. I want zywoo to be on the AWP throughout that entire game so he can roam around and be annoying towards his opponents.
You leave Spinks on the B side then as an anchor. I think that would make sense.
He's
if Apex
with
wants
it,
to still rotate, you leave Spinks on the B side. I mean, over the course of the high-level Counter-Strike, we've seen extremely strong players being B-side anchors. Nico is a good example. He stayed there with G2. That's a position where sometimes you need to have gigantic cojones and the skill that goes with it to assume all these responsibilities, and Spinks looks like
I like to see it.
Yeah, I do like the sound of that. For NIP coming into things as well, when we're sort of comparing them and what they're going to be delivering on this map, of course, more question marks for the side of Vitality. What are we looking at for NIP's strengths? Because I know that this is a map that they're pretty comfortable on.
I think their T side is fantastic. I think Hampus as an in-game leader on Inferno is absolutely stellar. One of the best in the entire world, to be completely honest. He leads by example. He likes to take map control on towards Banana. He likes to walk up middle in the beginning of a round and try to cause chaos from the get-go, and that's why he's calling out from. I think Hampus on a map like Inferno has the ability to take over the game and dictate how the game is being played out. So if he's having a good game, I could definitely see NIP make it tough.
You know what? I thought Carlos would go and knock out NIP's door and get Hampus in G2. That's what I thought might have happened, because I agree with you. I hold Hampus in such high esteem, and I agree the T side is definitely a strong one.
You know what you're seeing right now? You're seeing father and son competing for each
so
team.
Wholesome.
Performance coach from Vitality, Lars Rubbel, going up against Trolls Rubbel, who's the performance coach from NIP. Father and son, isn't that cool?
Yeah, no, that is really cool. Lars has a really cool history as well, right? Sort of in military and stuff. Yeah. I think that's he's going to be bringing some cool ideas. But we do need to throw it to a quick break before we are jumping into this one. It is going to be Inferno for NIP and Vitality to take on one another. You don't want to miss it. Join us back after this break.
right, we have another game coming up, another best of one, this time between Vitality and NIP. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel excited. I'm pumped for this one. Obviously, we got a nice first glimpse at Vitality with that win on Dust 2 over OG. NIP, we just saw them with a solid victory. I think picking up where they kind of left off pre-Cologne of like everyone being excited about this, and Cologne, hopefully this event can help kind of get past the disappointment of Cologne.
Yeah, move it forward. It's a good start. And Vitality too were looking pretty fresh with Spinks in there. The odds were favoring them as well, you could tell. So I don't know. This could be I think this is a very, very hard one to judge.
I think it's kind of easy to fall into the trap of Vitality being favorites because of some of the names on the roster, because of like what this roster is supposed to be. Obviously with zywoo on there as well. But I mean, obviously, if you go back and look over the past 4 or 5 months, NIP's been the stronger team, which is very interesting. And even in that first match on Dust 2, I felt like we saw some shakiness. We saw some slow, cold starts from some players on an individual level from Vitality, and hopefully that is dissipated with the victory.
Yeah, you want to see that. I mean, obviously, with the zywoo playing the way that he was in the opening game, that's something really to watch out for and something that can always bring a team back. But yeah, you'd want to see them come off flying here again in this team or in this match against the Swedes. That would be great. Oh, they look and feel ready. One of the surprises from the previous game, if you missed it, was S-Tag AWPing really well on and actually top fragging at the end.
Playing some assertive style AWPing.
Yeah.
That was really cool, watching him enter into the B bomb site a couple different times. On the other side, if you want to talk about AWPers, obviously you don't need to say a whole lot about zywoo. We know what he's capable of. He had another great performance right out of the break in his first map. 26 kills, I believe it was, against OG. 25, 26, led the way. And as is his thing, zywoo just kind of gets his frags. Even when there's no highlight clip, even though there's great jaw-dropping sequence, he's getting his 1 to 2 consistently every single round. So obviously going to be a cool battle there between S-Tag and zywoo. Another test for the Ninja who swapped into an op position.
It's crazy, isn't it? And yeah, you're right about zywoo. I can't really think of many crazy highlights from that Dust 2 game that started the day, but he did end up there on the scoreboard.
He's just getting his 1 here, his 2 there, his 1 here again. He's just doing good work.
Well, I want to see definitely some more out of Apex. He looked a little bit frustrated at times, and maybe we're struggling a little bit early on.
I think it might take a little bit of time to see Apex individually get back to things. Remember the pressure on an in-game leader to work and get someone like Spinks up to speed and kind of really try and incorporate him. You're not only trying to get Spinks up to speed, but you're also trying to find ways creatively to make sure you're being proactive and involving him in the ideas. We saw him kind of put in positions on Dust 2 where he was cutting off rotations, doing a little bit of lurking, looking for pushes outside long and mid on the T side as well. Had some nice entries in the mid round a couple of different times, so he played a good game as well, which has got to be great for Vitality. Has to have them feeling pretty damn good.
Yeah, the one holding all the strings right now, so that could take away some of his focus for sure. We're about to find out though. Best of 1, so still really tough territory to be in here for either team. Not a lot of room for mistakes. And the battle guard is up and running. We're ready to get into it. NIP versus Vitality. I can't wait for this. I think this is going to be really exciting. A nice test of the temperature of both teams right here. We're on Inferno with NIP on the CT side, Vitality on the T side. All right, dodging the early nade. But there is still a couple of people up there. A lot of utility on the CT side for a pistol round.
Yeah, it really is. Can do a lot of different delay tactics. Especially with 2 smokes towards that B bomb site. Perhaps not wanting to deal with any kind of a set piece over there. Waiting for any kind of sound cue that's not coming. Rez has an early angle towards brackets, towards top mid. NIP just patiently waiting.
So much waiting. A little bit of movement is just T's crouching around in the hallway. But the silence might be broken by just a couple of nades here. Early smoke, setting up for the Molotov. Going to be trying to see if they can burn out that back pit. And already through, it's a quick trade. Spinks for Hampus, and we're in a 4-on-4 already. 50 seconds here, but S-Tag, they don't know he's inside of the smoke, and he comes sneaking out, executing one of them, nearly getting the follow-up, but zywoo got the pistol out in time. And that might be the crucial kill here.
It's a cool kill for S-Tag, but so hard to know what's coming up afterwards. zywoo with an initial shot, and there's Dupree pouncing up over the top. S-Tag, awesome play. Okay, well then. Hello, Dupree.
That's great.
I think it's such a cool play from S-Tag, and obviously pouncing out of it looks great, living up to the Ninja name, but without the information, it's so hard to know what the play is after this kill because you're blocked off by the smoke, you don't know where anyone is gone, and zywoo just delivers 2 stunning headshots at the perfect moment. 1-0 for Vitality's offense.
Great stuff. And they arrived right back into the round with 3 Mac 10s. Run boosted scout from Hamper's not going to be able to get the tag that he wanted there. But yeah, that probably, I mean, if he gets the follow-up shot there, S-Tag as he comes down, gets the second kill, it's a completely different round. This time just didn't really work out the way that they wanted. Smoke off towards the little pit. And they have already a lot of control jumping down into the pit. They are not afraid at all here. Trusting in the upgraded or the rifles and the submachine guns, but Tag's going to drop the bomb on zywoo, and there's already a flank coming in pretty quickly. I think Broland's already running up behind them, so they're going to be a little bit worried here on the Vitality side. This has been slowed down, maybe a little bit too much. Another great find, a headshot, Spinks out of the round, fitting the already in graveyard, and Broland's going to be finally coming up with that flank, but it's a little bit too early, maybe.
And all the smokes have cleared. All the utility for Vitality is cleared. They're stuck in pit. They've been stopped cold. This is going to be so dangerous. Can NIP set up the crossfires perfectly? Hampus with a scout kill. Still 2 players to deal with. S-Tag holding position inside the bomb site, and the op still does work. It's all tied up. NIP returned the favor in round 2.
What a round from S-Tag. 3 kills, 2 of them headshots with the deagle, and absolutely what they needed. That's a shocking result. Look at this. The early kill here, that slows them down a bit, but I don't know. I think Spinks must have not been able to see him somehow through the smoke there. Looked like maybe there was a bit of an opening, but that's interesting. We were just talking about this in the last map, how the deagles maybe don't have the same impact. This time they definitely did. Speaking of which, 5 deagles across the board for Vitality, so perhaps inspired. They want to see if they could do a little bit. Apex running away for the grenades. Catch him.
Oh no. Oh, S-Attack caught out in the open. Molotov, that's not going to stop anyone. Hampus has to get out of there. Actually, excuse me, they do turn around, but another stunning deagle. What is happening in this game so far? Deagles are going to work, and Rez is all alone with 3 players encroaching on his position.
I can't believe Dupree got that shot. That looked like there was nothing to see at all. Rez up close, and this might be the way to stop it. Dupree falling to the MP9 of Broland and leaving just Apex here. But for a minute there, it looked like they were going to sweep it right back. Apex trying to hit the shot. I don't think he spotted anyone on top of the box yet, so he should be dead in this round. Just not enough health left to really make this one work.
And no one from NIP wants to peek. No one wants to give him any opportunity. This was a 5-on-3 for Vitality that has slipped away from some nice deagle shots. They stalled this out just long enough for Broland to set up a long-range crossfire with Rez and Pit. Apex has 12 HP. 1 bullet, 1 gust of wind is going to end things.
Yeah, just hoping, but you're absolutely right. They're not moving out of the spot. They really don't want to give anything up, so sneaking in, and it will be the round for NIP, but a moment of real panic there.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, this was scary. This shot from zywoo is amazing. S-Tag gets caught. This shot's even more impressive. Look at the tiny gap that Dupree finds. Unreal. Rez and Broland saved the day with the crossfire. No access to the site again for Vitality. That's twice in a row now they've been stalled out at the A-bomb site.
Wow, this is how the game starts. You know, we might be in for a really crazy ride.
Yeah, it gets you excited for how it might finish.
4th round coming up. This time, though, it's just the Glocks mostly.
P250 on Dupes and zywoo.
So a chance if they get the right opening. Wow, that's very aggressive. Not really any kind of reward for it, unfortunately. And Dupree is out on his own, hoping for someone.
The reward you get if you're Broland with that kind of pushdown is that you clear out logs, clear out Bell, and you allow Plopsky to kind of be comfortable over at car, just realizing there's no one who's snuck into an angle in a position that he wouldn't expect. Gets to sit and be comfortable with that deep angle in M4. A lot of information peaks going on with flashbangs from NIP, trying to see where Vitality is congregating. It is towards mid. S-Tag likely to get first action.
No reason for him to stick around. He knows the kind of weaponry they have. There's just a question of staying alive and not giving up the Galil, but Can fall back again and again and try and take up a new position. There we go. Hampers and S-Tag. And it's a good cleanup at the end of the round. They didn't lose a single player. So in spite of a potentially bad start here for NIP, they swing it around. Now it's 3-1 in their favor. They're going to be so excited about how this is playing out.
Yeah, that second round win was really a gut punch, wasn't it? 3 rounds or 2 rounds off the back of it. So 3-1 in the favor of NIP. Vitality's going to have guns back in their hand. A little bit light on utility. 1 Galil, that's on Apex. Let's see what Vitality brings to the table here on offensive side of Inferno.
It was slow in that first game that they played, and they managed to bring it back in a big way. So that's like count them out. Roland, a little bit of a lineup, could have easily been a double there. But Magus gets to live. The grenade might still chase him down. It's real deep, but instead it's landing on Apex. So
for great damage on him, 50 HP taken away by the 1 nade.
Yeah, so technically 1-for-1 trade, but really a lot more beat up on the Vitality side.
And importantly as well, and you mentioned the slow start Vitality kind of had against OG that they were able to recover from. Slow start like that against NIP, just a different caliber of opponent. Going to be much harder to kind of recover in this map if they have another slow start.
They are really, really hoping that NIP will be a little bit more aggressive. You've seen them in a number of rounds where they're kind of lurking around, hoping for something by the boiler, up in apartments, but haven't really been gifted anything yet.
If they come up these halls quietly, this could be interesting. Rez turns, he hears one drop, he himself falls down, but still awkward defense from beneath. There he goes, S-Tag's got a turn, he drops as well. Oh, Vitality have found the perfect solution at Hampus. No way to read the timing of Apex's play out boiler. This round just straight up collapsed for NIP.
Yeah, that little bit of sound being made dropping down definitely heard on the other side. And once you see one player in that position, probably should check for a second. It's not that uncommon to have that double position at the quad side. So, yeah, wow. Quick 5th round coming up and being won by Vitality. Even though they weren't maybe all that silent coming down to the pit, it was just no defense anywhere nearby for NIP.
A lot of focus on top mid, a lot of focus on brackets for NIP. Hampus was on, Rap side. He could have fallen back and kind of taken an angle, a deep angle towards Halls just to be able to protect that kind of a drop down play to wrap around the defense. That was the biggest weakness NIP had in that setup. No eyes on Halls. And Vitality get another round on the board.
And they're still remembering that extended bomb range, even after the break, Kind of mistake you could easily make.
Yeah.
Been playing with 1 bomb range for almost 10 years.
For your entire career?
Yeah, and then changed a little bit. All right.
That's a nice camera shot.
Yeah.
Praise the cameraman.
It's a whole subreddit for that, isn't it? Well, let's go. 2-3. Close affair early on. 6th round is coming up, and S-Tag wants to be a little bit aggressive once again with the AWP. Not too much. Could be very tricky on the CT side, but we were praising him for that early on overpass.
I was going to say, we set this one up. This was kind of one of our things to watch out for on Inferno is the play from S-Tag with the AWP, especially after we saw some great performances on overpass in their previous match. Going to get it out early, and he's going to rotate over towards Car. Spam of the M4 might lure Vitality into a peek into the scope of the AWP, but not quite yet. Still a deep smoke, but that allows Brolin to rotate over and bolster the defense at the A site with 4 players.
Plenty of time on the clock right now. But yeah, this lean towards the A bomb site is going to be a big problem for Vitality if they can't find a really clean entry. They're back to check. You can see Magus is just saying, well, we don't know anything about what's happening over here. At the very minimum, we should put some pressure on it. But S-Tag is here. He misses the flick, and now they have a lot of options on the Vitality side. They don't even have to run for it. They still have 40 seconds. They could slow it down, but they're going to go.
When you see an AWP in that position, you have to imagine that's the only player pushed up. Now, they have slowed this down enough to allow Brolin to get here in time.
And they left the pre on the other side, so let's just see. He might get a kill on anyone rotating. Brolin's going to be going down. Oh, nice trade for Apex. That's the crucial kill that they needed. Now, at least it's going to be a bomb plant. And you could tell Rez is still not sure. If he runs out of this one, Dupree's going to be catching him. But they've already called a retreat, but Dupree's position is still great.
He might catch Plopsky. Oh, Rez jumps, and now Plopsky's got a tough affair, tough decision to make. Good dink, and Dupree's got to give away the fight.
Yeah, but they still got Plopsky boxed in, so going to come back and take a look here. Apex actually caught now. It's a little bit awkward. guess theoretically, if he was feeling crazy, he could try and run for it, but
Yeah, that ain't happening. I felt the same thing though
Yeah,
after that
like-
kill. I thought I saw him consider it a little bit on the screen.
not this time. Still, that's a good job. Especially, I guess, with the call, you could almost tell they weren't quite straight rushing to be a bomb site. They were still aware that maybe someone's here a little bit quicker than we want, but they were pretty quick to make that decision.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I saw it. It's fine. Just careful, guys. Okay.
S-Tag, I think, was obviously aiming for that close peek, maybe thinking there's going to be some kind of a sound cue at that point in the game with 46 seconds. Sometimes they'll throw the flashbang and just see if they can force back the defense and still commit to the A bomb site, just making sure nobody's pushed. And yeah, that's a look of a coach who's not happy with what he saw. But then Hampus picks up the dualies, so all is right in the world.
Yeah, that's what's going to bring them back. We've seen a lot of duelie action at the end of the last season, so maybe you're right. And it is Hampus, so put anything past him. But yeah, missing that AWP shot, really small thing, but the consequences absolutely huge for NIP. Tied up the scoreline, and they're starting to make their way up the middle. USP on this side, and maybe potentially with Rez on the other side with just P250. It's not a lot to try and stop anything with. Popsky, though, is going to find the kill and make it. That's interesting. Someone else has to go back and pick up the bomb now, so the minimum will slow down the Vitality attack that's kind of already wrapping around the A-bomb side.
Rez now starting to make his move. He heard noise in middle.
If he finds zywoo, it's really awkward. Again, the bomb is kind of stuck back there, so yep. Oh, zywoo still got the shot off. Probably dead, but managed to pull the trigger anyway.
Oh, good dink. Oh, good cleanup kill. Right through the edge of the wall. This round is on. The bomb is all the way back towards G-Spawn as well. They've left it. Even taking the bomb site wouldn't have mattered, and NIP steal another one.
Yeah, some shouts going back and forth across the studio. That's so interesting. Megas going down isn't necessary. They should still be able to win the round, but the problem is someone has to go pick up the bomb, and they still want to maintain their grasp on that A-bomb site. They don't want to give up the wrap on it.
Yeah.
So they send zywoo.
It's impossible once NIP starts whittling them down, isn't it? You just don't have the manpower, don't have the forces. And look, I mean, you can kind of write that one off as like a mistake that Vitality makes, just an oversight. I mean, ironically, we just kind of saw during the break those little pieces of content of in-game comms of another round on Dust 2 from the previous Blast split in spring, where Vitality did a very similar thing. Left the bomb all the way back and had to hustle to get it and almost lost the round.
Yeah.
Now, for a team as well, bringing in someone like Spinks, this is a lot of pressure on Vitality. You win the pistol, you lose the second round. You win a gun round, you start stringing them together, and you lose that little hiccup that we just saw there against one M4 and all pistols as well. This is not the start Vitality wanted.
No, definitely not. They could have built so much behind this if not for those couple of mistakes here. And speaking of Spinks, he's 0 for 6 right now, which is still pretty early on, but definitely considering the incredible performance he had on Dust earlier, you wanna see more of that, especially maybe early on. Rez ready in case the previous going to try and swing with that deagle. They've got the setup for it. I mean, again, almost 4 people at this A-bomb site with Flopsky not up on the wall. Nice nade. That'll slow them down even further, and this should definitely be an NIP round. Look at the health left on 3 out of 5 players there on the Vitality side.
Looked like they almost wanted to go back to the B bomb site, but this time it is just to make sure no one's forcing and peering down Banana at car. Towards the Opera we go, through the smoke. S-Tag gonna get challenged once again. Oh, he just gave up the angle. Gotta be careful not to re-peek it, but oh, this is gonna shrink the defense. They're not trapped inside the bomb site. Still overwhelming advantage of firepower with these M4s. And Hampus is forced to use the USPs. Gotta reload his weapon. There's actually a lot of pressure on this hit, oddly enough, and S-Tag answers the call.
That is so interesting, because I agree. It felt like the whole way through, all they had to make was one mistake there, and the whole A defense would have been wiped out.
Yeah.
They were walking the tightrope, but they managed to do it, so...
Yeah, S-Tag misses the timing with the AWP. Hampus out of bullets in the M4 has to switch to the pistol. Both players stuck in the bomb site. A lot of pressure put on them. Everything was set up for that to just fall apart.
You can even see how S-Tag, when he runs back into the bomb site, he's like, I didn't even really know where to stand at one point. He's like, I'm out in the open.
Well, it's because he's like, oh god, they could be pushing it quick. They could be pushing it quick. It could be slow. I don't know what's coming.
Exactly what Dan is saying. They are playing aggressive Banana, and they are fucking hiding on A. Playing passive. So also sometimes, let's say later on the rounds, we can also just sneak short and then go on contact, you know?
All right. Aggressive on banana, hiding on A.
That's not what I said.
Something like that.
There's an extra word in there somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I wasn't contradicting you. 5-3.
I like his version better.
Yeah, it was way better.
5-3. Yeah, still keeping it really tight at the moment, but certainly the money on the Vitality side is starting to become a little bit of a problem. Love some more bomb plants and love to stop NIP's economy from being this powerful, because that's going to be a problem down the road as well. So let's see if they're going to be able to use some of that insight from Sonic to maybe win a fight here on Banana. That's a classic way to win rounds on the T side on Inferno anyway. But a flashbang around the corner, it's so good. And the follow-up doesn't even reload the M4, just picks up the AK, wanted to keep going. If they would have come through, Brolan would have been ready.
Well, Zonika's right. Aggressive on Banana. Another opening kill for NIP's defense here at this part of the map. Maybe some follow-ups. Brolan's going to spam through. Good flashbang. Forces his turn in an uncomfortable fight. Plopsky is left alone. No smoke, no Molotov. He's got S-Tag rotating over with the AWP and a full set of utility as well.
Brolan's got to feel like he had that red, or he knew what was coming. You could see him trying to turn for it, but not quite enough.
I think he was trying to fall back. He was like, they probably know I'm aggressive. Let me just slip back and force them to burn some time, burn some resources, clearing out close, and just kind of gets caught in transition.
It's going to be a huge nade if he lands the timing right. But don't hold it for too long, Dupree. He's been able to get some great shots already in the earlier series, and today with the deal as well. So don't want to be testing his aim too much either. Hampus.
This makes me so nervous.
Yeah, it does. I'm not feeling good about this either. This is all right. He's very quick to react. Ooh. That is a monster grenade. Almost gets the kill. Follow-up on side was nearly enough, and now with the Molotov down as well, surely they're going to be out of time. 20 seconds. How do you get through this one? There is a third player about to be drawn over. Rez down in the pit, nearly caught with a nade in hand. That was very awkward, but now, yeah, with the damage already done, they're going to be able to clean it up. Good stuff, and especially there you see the flash assist from Rez down in the pit, so even if he's not in the fight, he's helping out Hampus anyway.
Vitality's in some trouble. They've been emphasizing a lot of hits early on towards this A bomb site, and they've been shut down a number of times against multiple different looks, against Hops, against Pistols, against M4s as well now, and the utility usage has been great. In Banana, they're struggling to take control of it early. They've gone 1 for 1 a couple times. They've lost some opening kills a couple times, so not a whole lot of success for Vitality to build off in this map so far.
The kind of gesture you never want to see your in-game leader do.
No.
I don't know. But I mean, I feel like Sonic had the right read earlier, so that's... At least they have an idea, they have an understanding of what is the basic dynamic here for the NIP side.
Yeah, knowing is half the battle. As American cartoons have taught me.
A lot of wisdom in there. What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Gargoyles.
I know what that is.
You know what that is.
Yeah, I was about to say something.
That cartoon was legit.
Always a fan of James Bond Jr. myself. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous when I say it out loud, but it was great. Absolutely stupid, isn't it? I'll find you the song at one point.
Can't wait.
Still walking into the same 4-man setup over at the A-bomb site, and that is the luxury. That's kind of half the reward for being aggressive on Banana to begin with, is that you can make the sacrifice. You just say, right, fine, we'll have 4 people here. Dupree back at it again though. It's a great shot. Oh, and Cyber's gonna follow it up. Gotta be a little bit careful. Don't lose S-Tag as well. He's gonna stand his own ground, and with a follow-up flashbang and a headshot. This is great. Even did a little pistol jiggle at the end. You love to see it.
Yeah, good shooting from S-Tag with the deagle at least. Couple missed shots with the op, but it's all good. That was a little bit of a scary round as well. If he'd gone down, all of a sudden 2-on-2 with bomb planted. Spink struggling. 0-9 so far.
Yeah, that's I mean, again, we have almost no data to look at when it comes to him and Vitality, so it's good. You know, it's way too early to tell. But he is normally so confident. You want to see him play his way back into it. Like you said, it's been a rough start here on this map for the Vitality side. So maybe some of the chaos in the team is kind of getting to him in a different way than the rest of the team.
Also remember, this is like still very, very early on in his career. Like he really only blew up until his time in ends here in 2022. And all of a sudden now you're trying to find a way to have the same impact with a completely different team. A little bit of aggression in Banana early for NIP, but this time we're seeing the change. It's not passive at A the way we saw previously. It's S-Tag finding a pick deep down holes. Brolin is traded, and Plopsky can't continue the spray. Molotov is going to hold them back, which I think has to slow down this hit, because Campus is going to arrive at the right moment.
Surely zywoo can't really keep running in there with just this little help, so he has to wait for a little bit of backup at least to try and do it. A minute on the clock. Ooh, he gets one more headshot. That is a great shot from zywoo. He was dead already in the first battle, but somehow he's still able to have an impact on the round. 2 versus 3, and Dupree covering this. Rez is trying to see if he can win this fight. If he can't, then the round is definitely going the way of Vitality. And Dupree, the timing is so good, but somehow Rez is just a little bit quicker. And now that low health on zywoo is going to be a factor once again. That could be a big problem. No shot there. S-Tag trying to get the wall bang, but Apex, almost none of him showing, and he still gets the headshot. S-Tag now, 1 versus 2 with the Deagle, almost swapping it out there, baiting it out a little bit with the running, and oh, absolute chaos. He somehow wins the fight in spite of everything, but he should never be able to win this round. Maybe get zywoo as he tries to run out, but yeah, a lot of chaos in this one. zywoo able to clean it all up, triple kill at the end, basically single-handedly winning the round.
Yeah, but not being able to carry any weapons forward. You're exactly right. Your superstars delivered you around. Now it's time to build off that. Vitality just kind of barely staying in this game, right?
That's what it feels like.
It doesn't feel comfortable, but they are putting some rounds on the board. They're within striking distance at 7-4 with just a few rounds remaining in the half. Problem is the money for NIP looked pretty strong. Like, they're going to have another solid buy here. They probably have another buy behind this.
Feels like if one... Oops. Apex being forced back. All right, that's a little bit awkward. Feels like in the previous round, if one nade goes through and just hits zywoo as he tries to make a cross, then they might just lose the round almost no matter what, because he's so low on health.
This aggression from Brolin has usually been a 1-for-1. Now he's got good positioning, but a timing Hulls pop. S-Tag has no idea it's coming. Neither does Rez. Dropping down. There's the first. Rez needs more than that, but he just can't. S-Tag wasn't able to react in time. Hampus isolates a 1v1, but trades come out, and Vitality found a really nice timing to pop out Hulls.
And finally, they don't have to fight 4 people here because, like you pointed out, they were so deep down Banana. Now, they would have had a really quick rotation if that A defense would have held a little bit longer, but obviously didn't, so they kind of back out already. And honestly, zywoo was even ready for it. You see him throw that Molotov towards quad. He wants to make absolutely sure that there's no lightning fast rotation coming through. So, great stuff for Vitality. They really needed this round.
Spinks is on the board. He's got his first kill in the game.
Yeah, first one's the hardest, right? Keep it up. 7-5. And you mentioned it, the money, I mean, still pretty decent for the NIP side. They can probably make a buy out of the next round, but if they can win another round behind this one, Vitality, then we're in an interesting position again.
This is a very good grindy half for Vitality, considering they won the pistol, lose the second round, and then they were able to respond at one point with 2 rounds straight and lost against an M4 and 4 pistols as well in the defense. So they've lost some really back-breaking rounds and managed to sustain and still find victories in a really like disadvantaged big picture perspective.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting some I wouldn't say practice, because there's a lot on the line here, but for a new team, you know, sometimes the only way to know what the team feels like is actually play an official match.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, so that's what they're getting right now. They're getting a real feel for it. And maybe sometimes, you know, running up against a strong team and feeling like you're getting beat up a little bit can help to iron some things out.
Another change in the defense here. S-Tag's brought over to be early. 3 players, and they're all sticking around. They're trying to set up a trap. They're trying to allow Vitality to say, this time we're not going to apply pressure. We're going to give you car if you want it, because we want you to have it to set up this late trap. There's the flashbang to clear things out. Great nade from Hampus does a lot of chip damage to 3 players on Vitality.
Flash around the corner. He did see just a gun barrel going to be slowly chipping away and eventually taken down Dupree, but they lose Brolin on the other side, so battle is not done. Megas is practically dead already, but it is a 4-on-4. A lot of damage on Vitality, though.
Brolin's really butting his head against a brick wall with this kind of push down Banana. This has not been nearly as successful as he would have liked, and in certain times it's been a liability. Here it causes a lot of chaos in the rotation over. S-Tag's got to play it passive with the AWP. If he's got the first kill as Apex walks right into it.
zywoo's out there ready and waiting, and he gets one more headshot. He's going to try and open it up again, but this time Plopski's there to shut him down. 30 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is lost in a really awkward position. Spinks, though, he's the one with the health, trying to see if he can do something. Megas is so low, bullet would have touched him and he would have been dead, and eventually Hampus will deliver that bullet. 18 seconds, and Spinks, he has to run all out. He might not even try and plant the bomb. He might almost just try and find Hampus here. 10 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is still in front of him. Oh, he cruises right into a headshot, and the confidence is back. That is a huge round out of Spinks.
I think Hampus already in this moment wishes he had played that a lot differently. I don't know if he had the feel for what the time was left in the round or if anyone brought it up, but he could have played that in a myriad of different ways. Chooses to be aggressive. He's thinking he's going to catch Spinks off, trying to hustle and play against the time. And Spinks is ready for the angle. But zywoo's been on point with that particular shot. He hit the banger on it in the previous round as well. Coffins is not a safe position for anyone from NIP at the moment.
There we go. Yeah, it's Megas fired up. I've got to say as well, I mean, if he died in that first exchange against Plopski, then it's not even a round.
Yeah, that one kill he finds is wonderful. And you got to say, again, we'll bring it up because we focus so much on Spinks having a very quiet game, just getting his first kill in the previous round. Shout out to the young player for staying in it, finding a way to have impact. He might only have, what, 2 or 3 kills so far in this game, but he's just won them around here in a big clutch.
Yeah, they're getting something out of him now, which is amazing. And it's brought them into a position now, Vitality, where, if nothing else, they have a great foundation to build on in the second half. 6 rounds already. This one might be a little bit easier, given the weapons on the NIP side. So a lot is being accomplished. Great chance right now for the Vitality side to even up the scoreline, make it 7-7. Plopski. Oh, no. Oh, the Deagles are back! Absolutely brutal. Now, you are just waiting for another sound like that. You want to avoid it at all costs if you're Dupree. You don't want to be walking into another Deagle headshot here.
And you don't want to stub your toe for a 3rd time in this game. This would be the 3rd such round they lose in this fashion against mostly pistols. This time, all pistols.
They're taking a deep breath right now on the T side. The other side, S-Tag is starting to push up. They're going to be in there with a quick flank. Let's see how fast Vitality can get. If they slow down, they're going to get shot in the back, and that would be a disaster as well. Plopski is still here, Deagle in hand, looking for his 3rd, and he nearly got 2 right there. That is so much damage from one Deagle, and Rez has snuck up, picks up a rifle, but never gets to use it. I was going to get the headshot on Brolan. Oh, it might be slipping out of their hands right at the end. They worked so hard for it. But S-Tag, 1 versus 3, and he gets shut down by Dupree. I can't believe Vitality managed to win this round.
That's so close. Plopski played that pretty darn well. Obviously, the 2 headshots initially to make it possible, and even once the Molotov fades, playing at second oranges, thought he would have had more chances. Never got a clean look once they started entering into the bomb site. Those 2 shots are beautiful. What a recovery for Vitality. They've tied it up at 7.
And the follow-up damage that he did, I mean, I think he almost got 4 kills, even though the last ones weren't headshots. Yep. 15th round now. Zywoo setting up with the AWP. Pointed out earlier, Brolan's been having a little bit of a tough time. He's stayed aggressive. He's trying to put on the pressure, but he's been found every time. This time, Plopski's in front, but they got to be so careful. Zywoo's on the other side. Oh, he actually gets the tag through the door. Oh, that's so silly.
I feel like Zywoo's got to be like the best opera at taking banana on the T side. He's had so many good big moments there.
Now the question is, with that kind of success over at Banana, still putting a lot of emphasis on the A defense. S-Tag's going to pick up 1. Rez on a pretty good return there. At least it's a 3-on-3. But yeah, they'd kind of taken the hit to the B defense and just decided to put 3 people here initially. Maybe that's going to be paying off for Rez. The pressure is on already, and Zywoo's holding that 1 angle. Not necessarily a hard shot, but absolutely great.
The smoke gave away his position. The smoke he was trying to throw for mid, which I think he probably should have known they were already past brackets. That smoke was never really going to do anything except give away his position for Zywoo. Had a box in. Shadow shows. That's an easy one for Zywoo. Man, hard carry mode for Zywoo in the opening half of Inferno. 18 kills on the offensive side.
Yeah, he is such a ridiculous beast, isn't he? New season, still doing all the work, and that is a nice recovery for Vitality in the opening half. We'll see if they can continue. If Zywoo could be stopped in the second half, it's coming right up.
I think my first thoughts when CSGO came out, it was
CSGO would never become a real game. And
why don't I just taking shots right out of the gate? We've made it 10 years of CSGO since its release, and obviously a lot to talk about over the years, over the decade that it's been with us. Let's get the first thoughts from you guys on CSGO's release, you know, back in the beta days.
I think my first thoughts when CSGO came out, it was I've been 1.6 for a long time, and I played the earlier version of 1.6. It just felt way better. Obviously, coming from 1.6, where there was never an update in the end. It was how it is, nothing changed. Whatever you did in the game was still the same. You tried to figure out new small moves.
My first thoughts when the game came out, played 1.6. Personally, I played it for fun with my friends, that's it. When the game got introduced and when it came out, I wasn't necessarily too hyped about it, but I did try it out.
I actually think I was reliving what happened when Source came out. So I'm like one of these die-hard 1.6 people. Yeah. And when Source came out, I tried it for like 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm never playing this game. This is stupid. I'm leaving. I'm back to 1.6.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
It was 2014, and basically every 1.6 Israeli player was playing still 1.6, and no one moved to CSGO. And I was coming to my brother with I had no credit card, nothing. And I come up to him, yo, let's buy CSGO, let's play this game. It looks so much better than CS. And in my idea, I was like, finally a game that I could be better than him at.
I was like at a boarding school in Denmark when everything was like starting to be released and stuff like this. So I saw some videos. I saw that show match they played.
Oh yeah, like the mixture of like all the old school American, Western European stuff.
Exactly. And I heard the comments afterwards and the famous Sonic tweet or whatever it was with that CSGO would never become a real game and stuff like this.
Aged like a fine milk.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the first map was released was Dust, which already to me was a huge warning sign. No one's playing Dust. Why are they releasing it as like the test map? It had
the
fog and particles and cars that were on fire.
I remember feeling like just playing against bots, like just to get a feel for the weapons.
Let's go back.
I can't get the bumper.
One city then.
Nice.
One more city.
Oh, city last. Rushing, he rushed. No, he's holding you, maybe. I don't know.
That's the kind of energy you love to hear. And what a recovery from Vitality, to be honest. Spinks obviously not the most impressive first half, but he did win that round. And the whole team has just managed to bring it back.
It looks so awkward watching that back too, because you're just like, man, why did Hampus stick around? Like he could have gone to Coffins, could have just played the sound cue. Spinks didn't have time to walk.
A lot of things going on there.
It's not as crazy as it sounds. I mean, you're kind of putting yourself back in a position where you're like, Spinks has to run. He can't clear every angle, so let me just take the gamble that he's not going to clear this one. Obviously, just didn't pan out. But you're exactly right. Clutch like that helps them kind of recover from the crushing losses of a second-round loss against Pistols. I think it was like a six-round loss against 1M4 and 4 Pistols. And they even had, I think, almost a full-blown, the Popsky Deagle round that they almost dropped as well. So,
and then, on top of everything else, there's that strong undercurrent of zywoo just wrecking everybody.
Being a beast.
Yeah, it feels unfair because you're just, you're just out for a swim, but one little mistake and you're gonna get dragged away. It's just always down there.
Yeah, not going to the beach anymore. Yeah, I mean, even doing it with the AK-47 as well. He was on point with the headshot angle towards Coffins on the T side. And now we're going to switch over to CT side, where he gets to be wherever the hell he wants with the AWP. He can be a monster on this side of the map as well. So looking like zywoo's, not surprisingly, going to have a very good first day of Blast Premier. He had a wonderful first map on Dust 2, 25-ish kills, give or take.
Yeah, it's no surprise, but it's still kind of... still wild when you see it happen like this. And you're right, just to highlight on that too, wherever he wants to be, that's psychologically kind of hard to deal with if you're on the T side. You just know any corner you turn could be
an op in your face.
Corner.
Yeah, one of the best ops in the world.
Yeah.
Staring you down.
dualies are out for zywoo.
Staring down 2 barrels.
Yeah, just to make it worse.
Got 2 guns, 1 for the each of them.
I like that. Hold on. Dupree's still back there with a flashbang, so that was just a test to see if anyone was going to react. Now they're walking up close, but if they give away the sound cue, that flashbang could absolutely end NIP. There's a little bit of a tap. Now comes the flash, and it's just the 1 kill. I actually like... Oh my god! That is a beautiful shot.
That's
You're going to use
nasty.
the P2000, then at least do that.
Even the little bit of a tap just to pull attention towards half wall to set up the flashbang didn't work out nearly as clean as he would have liked, but obviously grabbing one, jumping over the half wall is a thing of beauty. 1 minute on the clock. Rez is going to have ample time to peek in. Look at Hampus. Hampus has found a gap. Apex is aware of the possibility. He's checking it on a timing, and now he's tucked himself safely, and he's been spotted. So they have to pick up the pace and crunch into this B bomb site.
Ooh, Apex takes the fight and wins it as well. And that defuses so much of the threat. Now they just have to worry about the main push coming in from Banana. It's Plopsky getting one with the dualies that he's managed to pick up. Dupree back here. Hasn't really reloaded yet. Got to 5 bullets left. Misses one. He's still throwing them out there and picking up Plopsky. That's huge res now. P250 in hand, and he's boxed in. Low on health, and finally brought down by Megas. What a close round.
Yeah, very, very close. Well done from Vitality. Good shooting from Apex. This shot, that's nasty. Even this follow-up one as Hampus comes in for the flank. I don't know if we're actually going to see it, but that was a nice shot at range as well. So good headshots from Apex really dissipate a lot of the danger in the round, and the rest of the team cleans things up. 9-7. Vitality with both pistol rounds in the map.
I was getting a little bit worried watching Dupree not even reload the gun back there, but I guess he had it all under control. It's all good.
Yeah, that's what he'd like you to believe.
It's like I've done the calculations. I don't really need more than 3 or 4 bullets, so it's all good. Silent boost up into the apartments. MP9s on the other side. I mean, against unarmored opponents, it should be...
yeah, it's going to chew these guys up, isn't it? Just the one
problem.
P250 to speak of.
Don't even have the deagle threat this time around, so... Unusual amount of deagle rounds in that first half, gotta say.
Yeah, we'd even been talking earlier how it felt like the Deagles had kind of not, lost some of their style points.
And it's a little bit weird because the last change to the gun involved spamming it, right? To try and stop it from being just, super effective at close range for quick shooting. But it still feels like somehow that changed the overall feel of the gun beyond that. A couple of kills this time going in favor of NIP, so at least they're going to be able to do a little bit of economic damage. But this next round is where the real test will be for sure. Vitality, they're building a pretty decent lead at the moment. 10-7, so 3 rounds, and still no AWP on zywoo. That's yet to happen, yet to come. Roland still, he had a lot of aggressive rounds. He still hasn't really recovered from that. 6 kills, both him and Spinks at the moment. So, something to look forward to as well if they can start to pick it up on their own. I wonder if he's going to be playing the mirror position, which, yeah, seems like he is at the moment. Not uncommon. If you're playing on the CT side, might as well play it on the T side and become an expert at everything down there. Keeping only 1 MP9 into this round on Apex. But way more of a drawn-back kind of setup here for Vitality compared to what NIP were doing on the CT side. They were so aggressive on Banana, but Vitality happy to stick around inside of the B-bomb side.
Roland's got position at car. zywoo's starting to rotate over as well. Seems like they're going to be more than happy to challenge, knowing there's going to be at least an SMG on the board. Roland looking for his fight still.
Red's finding an opening, and Apex risking his life to try and get the jump across there. But the fact that they get the kill at Arch is obviously great news. Spinks is going to pick up 1 there. Roland nearly in position to trade it, but we're down to 30 seconds, and that smoke goes up at a really bad time for NIP. They're actually under a lot of pressure right here. They have a couple of nades themselves, but they have to be really careful. If they get slowed down maybe one more time, even by a flashbang at this point in time, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and a great crossfire. Dupree's got 2 flashbangs. I don't even know if he'll use them. zywoo has 1 inside the bomb site as well, but you're not breaking through this, not with 13 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, one mistake and it's done. First in his res, getting shot at the back already. Bomb still there, but they just can't make their way through. 5 seconds and they have to plant. Not going to be possible. zywoo able to pick up the last couple of there, but even if he dies, they cannot win the round.
It was the time as the big opponent. That's a tough crossfire to break through in the best of situations. Maybe if they had 4 or 5 more seconds, that could have actually come to fruition, but just so much pressure due to the pace they had to take. This is a great shot from Rez. A good duel, but obviously traded back at the B bomb site by Spinks at Coffins. And a good hold from zywoo and Dupree.
Sonic is loving it. Looked a little bit stressed at earlier time, but it's going to give them a 4-round lead now. And even better, no bomb plant. And not enough money either for NIP to do much of anything in this round. Apex, a little bit of a wild jump to look over. I don't think Roland saw anything there. Gun barrel right in his face. Hampus gonna get some revenge though.
Yeah, Hampus is just like, all right, you're being crazy. It's really chaotic. I'm gonna take advantage of the reload. 1 for 1 in Banana. There's 2 smokes and a flashbang recovered for NIP. They've got some armor to work with as well, and now 3 deagles and an M4. Defense is split much like the last round, 2 at A, 2 at B.
Hampus is trying his best to keep up with zywoo on the other side. We got 18 on Hampus, 23 on zywoo, but other than that, they just cannot keep him down. Devastating knowing you're up against this kind of an opponent, knowing that every single round it's going to be a couple of kills for him.
Ooh, timing is everything. zywoo is over by Library, looking for this exact fight. Little bit of an off angle, takes the shot. M4's up next, and he can't get it done. Good shot from Rez. Spinks is now alone at the B bomb site, and 3 players of NIP are in CT spawn. 35 seconds to work with.
Spinks playing the exact position that he defeated Hampus in last time around, so we'll see this time a little bit more aggressive. He's going to pick up that one and he'll make his way around the corner as well. 24 seconds and now backup is coming in, so all he has to do is stay alive. Make sure this stays a 1 versus 3 and that it's not somehow a chance for Plopsky to make his escape. Going to be a little bit of pressure on, just enough to keep his attention, and Magus is there. So well done, Spinks. Again, maybe not high on the scoreboard, but having a couple of really critical rounds.
Yeah, it seems like he's gotten a little settled. These are some nice, this is a nice double kill. This is a deeper, more shallow angle than what we saw Hampus use against him in the 1v1 clutch. And obviously, with that narrow of an angle, it's very difficult for Rez to trade in time, especially up against the silencer. Vitality looking good.
They really are.
That's definitely in the arena.
I was going to say, it sounded, I feel like I can almost hear the echo there.
Yeah.
It's good. It's the sound really tops it off, doesn't it?
Yep.
Makes it a little bit more impressive. Somehow reminds me, oh, hold on, hold the phone. Apex wanted to continue the spray, but it's just a 1-for-1 headshot. Roland quick to react on that one. A nade. A little bit of damage. Actually, a fair bit of damage on the Spinks. That's not bad.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to take a step out of position to avoid most of the damage, but that's not the case. Smoke is cleared in mid, which means this setup is a bit risky. They do have Magus watching at the wrap side corner. Ooh, zywoo missed a quick shot. They don't get baited into Dupree's M4, and NIP is going to be happy to force back the danger, at least for now.
Rez trying to improvise a little bit of a spray. Can shoot through that window at various odd angles, but you got to remember there is a canopy out there that you're kind of shooting into. Rez backing off the middle, 50 seconds. Going to be joining up with almost the rest of the team. Some aggression coming out from the CT side, and it's zywoo around the corner. S-Tag asking for a bit of a boost. They do get a lot of damage onto zywoo, but they're down sub 40 seconds, so they need to wake up their minds. There's 3 people defending this bomb site. It feels like Vitality have this one almost in the bag.
Yeah, that's a tag as well onto Rez from zywoo at that half wall. They're going to get re-aggressive. Good time for it. Good flashbang. Spinks with a double kill. zywoo's gone down, but it doesn't matter. Round's over. 20 seconds on the clock. S-Tag, this would have to be so unique.
Just almost no way, right? He's just looking all over the place. Dupree's right behind him, and that is a nice kill. I can't even really believe it, but it feels like the first round of aggression is obviously, that's frustrating enough on its own, but the follow-up coming back as they're trying to set up in the last 30 seconds that's too much to handle. You could tell NIP were not ready for it. This is the follow-up here that no one sees coming. They're actually still throwing grenades into the bomb side.
This has been like a really, really great game for Vitality if you want to start believing in this roster right out of the gate at this edition of Spinks. I mean, when you consider the CT half has been dominant so far. But this game really is kind of being won for Vitality on the T side. The fact they managed to stay in that half through all the adversity and eventually gained control. That was a half that might have been very easy for them to just slip out of their control and get buried.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with the way they were able to stick into the first half. Still 4 rounds needed for Vitality to take the victory here. 3, excuse me. I can count. I promise.
Yeah.
I swear.
Just only when you really put some effort into it all.
My brain was on the 12 from the previous round before the victory got added in. So
All right, let's see how it is.
that's what I'm going to go with.
How about the time, Jason? You able to? You got that?
Got
that down?
Usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's some mistakes made.
Happens to the best of us. I won't lie. 25 kills on zywoo. That's yeah, again, devastating to be up against. And Vitality making this look really, really impressive. It's another thing though to really think about. You know, even if it's just the one change of Spinks, it's still hard to know how that affects the overall map pool of the team. And that's, if you want to win tournaments, right? That's how you have to do it. You need that deep map pool to be able to compete against FaZe and Na'Vi and all the rest. Megas, a little bit of a miss there maybe, but some good counter grenades coming out. Roland to get the opening kill of the round. They're standing on top of Dupree. I don't even know what's happening. All of the kills inside of the smokes, and finally Spinks a bit of a return. The bomb though is down in front, so is that enough for them to actually win the round with what an absolutely chaotic round?
Oh, NIP needed to find a way to get this bomb, though, and into the site. Plopsky's just grabbed it and jumped in, and I think now Vitality's likely going to call the save. zywoo's only got 350 behind him. Money's fine for Vitality. It's just not pretty, and they just want no business with this kind of a lead. They're going to play with the 6 rounds they've got and make a conservative decision and back off. So, NIP's on the board in round number 2.
That's really crazy. I mean, it goes from perhaps a little bit of a funny miss from Aegis, and then suddenly they're stepping on Dupree, and the whole bomb site's wiped out. Let's see what happens. So they get that one, fair enough. Everyone's blind, but this is something else.
It's a change of pace in a way, not in terms of timing of the overall round because it was like 50 seconds, but in terms of like the speed once the go signal is given, right? Like it's not kind of like trying to mess with finding a duel in the open, not trying to find like a clean entry or anything like that. It's just, all right, guys, there's a utility dump. Everyone move forward.
It's good. I mean, sometimes when you do go all in like that and you get one opening, it creates enough space and enough chaos. Here we go. 8-13. Orb is still on zywoo, but money is starting to get a little bit low on that CT side, so something to maybe think about. S-Tag has his, and we saw some really cool shots coming out from him on overpass, so I'd love to see some of that return. Don't know if I'd pick S-Tag as favorite of going up against zywoo, but not a lot of players that I would, so.
Yeah, I was going to say there might only be one. Defensive smokes and Molotovs down at Car. Campus delayed from top banana control. Spinks and Apex going to move out. There's that challenge from zywoo as well towards top mid. Hampus did find Apex through the smoke. That leaves Spinks alone at sandbags and nowhere to go.
Spinks making a strong stand up here. Big double for him. Sneaks out. They're ready for him. If he keeps going, he might run into the AWP, but somehow just makes his way past. Getting the double is already great. That's already probably enough, but the fact that he manages to escape behind it is amazing.
He had 4 kills in the first half. He's now got 10 kills in the second half, and we ain't done yet. This is a phenomenal recovery of just 8 rounds of play, this being the 8th round of play so far in the second half.
Under 30 seconds. They're starting to make their way to the B bomb site. They don't really want to go anywhere else, so might as well just try and run for it. 20 seconds on the clock here, and Spinks, a lot of pressure on him all of a sudden. Dupree's back here, and almost jumped on by Plopsky. That would have been really awkward if he would have gone down. 10 seconds now, and a friendly flashbang set up by zywoo. That's great communication, and nothing Rez could do about it. He kind of has to stay and watch that, but that also means looking right into it. zywoo able to pick up the last kill, and that is some great defense being put up from Vitality once again.
That's incredible stuff. Vitality has complete control of this map, of this game, and they're marching towards a victory.
Just to be sure, that one player was Markelov, right?
Yeah,
you meant, right?
Definitely. I would definitely pick 2010 Markelov. Just for you.
I appreciate that.
Man, this NIP has not been able to find any kind of power in this T side so far.
That was a really disappointed coach.
Yeah.
Like the...
Well, it's funny. We've gone from like Apex in the first half. Remember when he threw up his hands being like, I don't know what to call. I don't know what the solution is. And now all of a sudden he's happy, jovial. The defense is rocking. Everyone's feeling good. Spinks is having a phenomenal second half.
Yeah, the whole team has come alive.
Round 23.
And NIP really badly need to turn this around. Gotta say, I mean, Rest and Hampers both at 19 kills. It's not like they're not really doing that badly in terms of kills, honestly, on the NIP side. So maybe with a couple of fortunate rounds here, something could change in the momentum to favor NIP. I feel like even Brolin's getting a couple of more kills here. Apex risking his life to throw one HE grenade. That was scary. Brolin hoping to catch someone at the sandbags. It was Spinks there last time, but this time it's zywoo a little bit further back. Dangerous angle to cross right now. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to either. Look at the difference in setup, though. Think of how often NIP on this side had one playing that half wall and banana, and then 4 people at the A-bomb side. Now we're seeing 3 B from Vitality pretty deep in the round, leaving the Danes over at the A-bomb side.
Hampus on a mission. He's found some space to work with on Rap side a number of times in this half so far. Oh, the sound cue, though. That's going to get away. zywoo knows it's coming. Oh, a rare miss. A rare miss from zywoo around the edge of the smoke. And Hampus, I don't know if he spotted Apex. I don't even know if he realized that there's a second player. He's got that one as well. Hampus has cracked this open, and Spinks is left alone at B. No chance for reinforcements. He is screwed.
Yeah, there's not much he could do right now. Only thing would be the clock. If they were somehow slow enough that we're talking about like 10 seconds and he gets the kill on the bomb planter, that's the only way to win this round. It's not even close. Hampers 3 kills in this one. He probably should have had none of them. That's getting so much out of a position that was discovered and found out and walking through the smoke against an AWP.
That's a great round to call for yourself if you're Hampus, especially knowing you've had some success getting up Rap side a couple of different times in this game, but you're not going to come back into this game just off calls like that. That's like one round in the half. That ain't going to happen again.
Yeah, and it's a good call. I mean, let's say even if he did get traded right there, probably they still win the fight against Spinks, and it probably is still a very competitive round at the end of it. But man, that looks so awkward. Library, just a weird fight happening there, but NIP will take it. 9-14. Trying to see if they can get themselves back into this game. And a big step in the right direction obviously would be getting rid of that money on the Vitality side. Man, I just don't even know. That bullet looked like it should have connected.
Yeah. Off just a little bit, maybe just moving. That was a phenomenal fight. I think he had heard or seen Apex at some point, so heads up play, and then obviously even finding Spinks at the end to have him boxed in. 5 rounds the difference between these two teams. Vitality just 2 rounds away from taking the victory here on Inferno.
A lot of nades and a great follow-up spray. They just jumped right into the action. zywoo and Apex both out of it. Spinks is still here, but that's not going to be a surprise. They know that by now.
And this is a great round to have a double opening. Look at the money on Vitality. They're out of funds after this round. So if NIP can deliver a really, really nice knockout punch and take 1 to 2 more guns away, force Vitality onto a save, then you start seeing a world where they can close this gap.
Almost feels like at this point they're sacrificing Spinks, hoping that, well, Mega's going to be throwing grenades, so they will actually know. It's not even like any kind of a fake. I was just wondering, this seems like such a thin spread in a 3-on-5. Almost feels like it'd be worth it just to go all 3B or all 3A and just try and run for that. Ooh, flashbang. Nearly could have been a kill. Sphinx is ready to fight if they wanted to, but they're going to be retreating instead, going for Dupree's position.
No, it's time for Dupree to just save. I have to imagine he's just going to go right through arches towards that B bomb site after the spam through the smoke and just get the hell out of there. So Vitality knows the situation their money is in. 2 players at the B bomb site secure the retreat of Dupree, and Vitality is going to live to fight another day. Dupree, depending on the money, might even be able to drop a weapon over to a teammate. This might be one more decent buy for Vitality to stick in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, that might be the way that Vitality win this map, is just by slowly having enough rifles to keep up the battle. Shown already they can do a great job on the CT side, so not too surprising if they've managed to find the last 2 rounds eventually. But what a start. I mean, just the first battle happening on Banana, and it just heavily goes the way of NIP. That's all they needed. And I think they handled themselves well afterwards, even realizing...
Yeah, smart play to kind of secure yourself a route to save all 3 rifles. If it doesn't go to plan, if Sphinx couldn't come up with something special there, obviously him surviving was pretty awesome to begin with, but being able to pull Dupree over safely is massive. Another timeout taken from NIP. You can see DJL being very, very vocal.
3 timeouts used here from the Vitality side, so...
Yeah, you can see another attack coming in as well. Zonic saying his mic isn't working, so we're going to get this timeout again a little bit later as soon as this headset is swapped out.
Yeah, fair enough. Do need the microphone to communicate with the team, I guess, so... Curious how much NIP have in the tank here for the second half, just on the T side.
I mean, but like the cool thing would be like the contrast of, you know, both teams being put in difficulty on their T sides of Inferno. We saw Vitality kind of rise up and overcome them magnificently in the first half, and now it's NIP's. It's their problem to deal with. Can you kind of keep the frustration and keep the stress at bay and find the solution right at the end? They've got to go on a huge win streak here.
And you mentioned earlier, Hampus had that 1 round in Library, which is this hard round to call. Then they have this round where they get the double win at top Banana. So obviously, some of those rounds could be hard to replicate.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'd love for them to find some of the weaknesses or something in the setup here in the defense for Vitality that they can exploit a little bit more.
And the important thing for Vitality is to keep playing with that philosophy that you just had in the previous round. Yeah, you lost 2 fights at top Banana. You were in a 3-on-5 early, but you know, you can still contest rounds while also remembering the worst thing that can happen is your money just getting ripped out of your hands. It's just losing, having your economy drop out beneath you. So position so that you can keep these guns moving forward. You have as many rounds you're fighting for down the stretch as possible.
Headsets have come off in the meantime.
Love that.
Yeah, always a good sign that, you know, someone's gone horribly wrong. Someone's kicked a cable under the table. It's my bet.
Okay.
You know, that's
that'll happen.
That'll happen. Horrible way to get into trouble.
Yeah.
I've had
we did a desk segment one time in Brazil. I was on the desk with Alex and Chad, and the way the cable worked, it went through like a portion of the arena of the seating. Don't ask me why. And a fan in the arena kicked out the power cable right before the opening segment of the day went live. All the monitors turned off.
Nice.
Alex had to do an entire opening segment as the host with no monitor.
Yeah, but he is a pro, so
yeah,
you know,
it's impressive stuff.
That's
real... my story about kicking cables.
All right, that's a really good one. I was gonna say I've had some fun with cables recently, but that's because I'm trying to, you know, learn how to play the piano, Jason. And audio cables are a real mess.
I was wondering about that.
That's where the real fun begins.
Okay, sure.
They're so sensitive to like all kinds of electrical stuff. It's not fun.
Yeah, put your phone somewhere and it starts giving a little staticky sound.
But you need like power next to audio, next to like a mixer and speakers, and it's just a whole mess. Like it's just.
Okay, so you're on the deep dive into the piano. This isn't just a fun little hobby. You're like the guy who's like, okay, all in right from the start.
Yeah. I think I spend like an hour, at least an hour a day now doing it.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought all the cool stuff. It's great. But shout out to all the audio engineers out there. That is a job for
a thankless job.
Yeah, people notice when it's not working, but you try and mess around with it. It's a stone mess. It really is. I don't know what's happening now, but I swear AP is trying to eat the bottle for a minute there. So might be losing their minds.
Yeah.
Could be the heat and the...
Looking for any last drop of water in that bottle.
Yeah.
Just like in the desert, just squeegeeing it out.
Just trying to live. Surely, if you're French, you're way more used to this kind of thing than poor Danish people.
Denmark is unusually uncomfortably humid.
Yeah.
It's not even that hot. It's just sticky.
It's ridiculous. Maybe it is that global warming. They should have warned us about this, Jason.
Yeah, I wish someone would have brought it up at some point.
Wish someone would have mentioned that this could happen. He could have taken steps, you know, could have done something. Caught me off guard. All right, headsets are coming back on. I take that as a positive sign. Hey, how do you feel sort of betting on NIP at this point? I think I picked NIP for this one.
I did.
You picked NIP as well?
Mm-hmm. I went NIP OG. No, yeah, I did.
That's what I did too. All right. So we might. This could be a tough way to get started.
Yeah.
In these picks.
I was feeling a lot better about it about 10 rounds into the first half than I am currently at this moment.
Not a lot of margin for error at the moment for the NIP squad.
No, not at all. And burning timeouts as well, trying to get back into it. Rez is looking like he's never seen a pair of headphones before in his life, or headsets.
What is this alien technology?
This is a speaker? That's crazy.
Yeah. There we go. They are back into it apparently. So great news. Appreciate the admins, you know, doing the hard work. A lot of stuff to check once things go off the rails. 4-round gap. And NIP, they can't slow it down now. They need to keep fighting.
And here's that round. Remember, Vitality saved 3 rifles in the previous round. Dupree had enough money to drop another rifle over, and then Apex picks up an SMG. So they still have a very strong buy moving forward into this round. Money is completely gone at this point. And if you're NIP, you want a win. But not only do you want to win where they actually have to contest, where they actually have to fight and retake and actually risk some of their weapons so that you can take everything away.
Same kind of setup here for Vitality with the 3 people over at the B-bomb site. They've been trying to go aggressive and find the right timing to flash somebody into a fight here. Bomb is far back on the T ramp, so let's see. And actually now that Hampers is so far pushed up, they can't really go for the pop flashes around the corner anymore. Throwing down an early smoke instead to try and slow anything down. And again, last time I think it was Dupree and Magus that were in the pit. They've switched that around a little bit, at least.
Yeah, I think they pulled Dupree over to help cover up the fact that Apex only has an SMG. He can do his chaotic plays. He can be the one flashed for to get information at car if they want to in the mid-rounds. But as you mentioned, leaves a pretty weakened defense over here. That's a nice nade to soften up the opposition, but all 5 members of NIP going to be streaming up lane right now.
How do you even hold this back? I mean, the Molotov is a good start, but you still need the shots. Oh, no, he didn't put it out, and he's almost dead. zywoo's going to get the one and trade it immediately. They know he's down there, and eventually the wallbang will come through, and that should be the end of the round.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
Oh.
Oh, no.
That's stressful right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty stressful.
It was at that moment he knew he effed up. 14-11. And again, this is what I touched on just when this round began, is NIP is going to take all these wins, but like on a certain level, you would almost love for the, I mean, you never think this as a player in the moment, right? But like, you kind of want this to turn into like a doable retake scenario in some degree, because you almost want these weapons to come challenged so you can take them all away, so then you can completely deplete the economy and then play around against pistols and close the gap against an easier loadout. But I mean, if you're NIP, you're just taking the wins as they come.
You're just, yeah, it's true. But there is a kind of round win where it seems believable for the other side, and then they dip back in and they lose a little bit more. Yeah. Oh no.
And he looks back to blind himself. It all went wrong.
So once you hit that level of panic, it's just, you know.
Yeah. Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
I hope that's what it is.
I think you're right. I think you're onto something.
Too. Shout out to Interstellar. Campus moving up banana, deep nade.
14-11, 26 round. NIP, they're surely making a couple of people believe right now. Especially looking at the money on the Vitality side. I mean, they're at the point now where a couple of wins here and there, and you know, they're up against almost no weapons at all.
It's a good decision, though, from Vitality in this round. Again, just playing a really smart economic game where they don't refresh the full kits of utility, even around the players that have rifles, because next round, win or lose this, like even if you lose this as Vitality, you're going to have another buy in the next round as the losing bonus builds up. So everyone's kind of, you know, 2,100 on Dupree and Magus, upper 2,000s for zywoo and Apex. They've got rifles in the next round if they lose this. So avoiding that complete reset.
Keeping themselves competitive. Spinks just pre-firing. That is a great double kill. Goes for more and hits the headshot on Plopsky. Absolutely devastating defense at the archway. He even had a teammate there that was never even needed. Proland on his own, and that, you could see how much he realized was going on. He actually started pre-firing that before they even turned the corner. He was like, all right, I know they're going to come. That flash landed behind me. I'm ready.
Yeah, this pickup is doing so good for Vitality today of Spinks. Just a reminder, 4 kills in the first half. He's now at 13 here in the second half so far, and perhaps no sequence bigger in the entire game. Even that 1v1 clutch and that triple kill right there to put the stop to this run from NIP.
Absolutely massive.
What do you think it's like as like a new player coming in and getting like the, you've been watching Zana give his big teddy bear hugs and cheers to Astralis for years, and now you're like, ooh, I get to experience it.
Probably completely surreal, isn't it? I mean, I have to imagine, but yeah, what a great defense being put up here.
Yeah,
like,
Dupree's like, I don't know, this is how I want to play the game all the time.
Yeah,
don't have to do anything.
I can just hang out and
Yeah,
do all that work.
Just chilling. Welcome to the team, bro.
15-11. Yeah, it's really worth thinking about from an individual point of view. I mean, again, we've seen Spinks battle tested a lot on ends, so it's not like a complete shock, but being able to do it in another team, that doesn't always really happen the same way. And it can even take a long time for somebody to recover whatever was going on the sort of the initial team that you get your...
And we'll obviously see his comfort on like T-sides greatly improve the longer he's with Vitality. I think it's a little bit easier, I think, on the CT sides to be able to manage it within a new squad. T-sides are when you kind of sometimes get lost in terms of what you're supposed to be doing at what point. Good nade damage, good damage early onto Resin Brolin. NIP already on the back foot.
Yeah, they got to be careful. They almost did catch one of them turning the corner. That would have been interesting. They're really, really close again to the pit and that hay cart. So one kill happening here in favor of NIP, and this bomb site could get wiped out. That's kind of the danger of letting the T side this up close. There's Rez with the opening, and Megaski can't continue this race. zywoo's on his own, and backup is never going to get here. He's going to have to do this basically on his own, and he just might. That's a strong headshot to begin with. Still 40 seconds now. Backup is coming a bit closer, but Broland's the first one through the smoke, and they're going to be able to find zywoo. That's a huge round right there.
Look at the movement as well from zywoo, though. After that first kill at the default plant boxes, just shifts into the bomb site, so someone wrapping around couldn't see him. Might have given him an opportunity for a second kill. Unfortunately, doesn't come to pass, but does buy his team an extra 5 seconds. They ain't going for this. Money's fine for Vitality now after that previous round from Spinks, and 3 rounds away is NIP, trying to play for overtime instead of a victory.
Yeah, which in itself, I mean, that'd actually be really cool to see both teams tested in overtime, if we can get that. It's another one of those rare experiences that, as a team, you want to try and see how that feels. zywoo's at 28 kills, so again, just sneaking up there. So ridiculous. Broland's going to run far away from that bomb. And it's 12 to 15. They're getting there, slowly but surely. But yeah, I mean, when you're that close to the bomb site, there's no... That defense can't really... Like, it either works or you get wiped out.
Yeah.
28th round coming up. Oh, they still have a lot more money than I thought, even now, Vitality.
No, Vitality's done such a good job with their money throughout this half. It is super impressive, some of the decisions they've made. Standard stuff. Utility towards top banana. This time, no one from NIP following it up too aggressively. Brolin just now making his move. 3 defenders here, including zywoo's op.
Yeah, he's ready for it. Brolin just back around the logs down there at the bottom of banana. Going to be very, very careful. zywoo, now he's outside of the range of the scope. Molotov will certainly force him out, so at least they're going to know and put some more pressure on, but they managed to escape.
I'm interested in the fact that Molotov is thrown towards tree, but zywoo didn't have the information. He could have held that angle with the AWP and really shut down Brolin as he escaped. Still another chance here.
Got to be careful if you jump on that half wall, though. Again, it is zywoo, so something that people sometimes do just by, you know, accident. But yeah, he's so ready if they want to come for it. They're already walking out in front, so he's under more threat than he realizes. If they turn the corner there, he's probably dead.
Oh, they're hearing these footsteps, though. He's been very loud in his reposition. They're going to know it. That smoke is going to hold them at bay. Brolin's going to be the first one to turn the corner. That missed shot is everything. He follows it up with one. How much more can he do? A second kill is impressive from zywoo.
Yes, unfortunately, Flashbang never spins a little bit late, but still, you saw the idea of it. And bomb will be planted. Nice nade on top of S-Tag. That'll put some real damage behind it. And it's a 4 versus 3 for the afterplant. But 2 of them are only just showing up for the Vitality side. So even if they have a little bit of a lead in this afterplant, it's not a surefire thing. They could still lose this round on the Vitality side. S-Tag getting a shot there, even flashed against Dupree. That's a beautiful start. Spinks is sneaking around. Apex getting the one and calling it in. They know Spinks gets one more to make it a little bit of a chance. They're already on the defuse now. 3 seconds left in Hampus. He can't find it. It's Megas instead to get the kill, and it will be Vitality to pick up the win. Huge start here for this newly minted team.
Yeah, well-fought win for Vitality. I mentioned it, I still believe it. I think this map is one in the first half for Vitality, overcoming so much adversity with lost second round, lost eco rounds multiple times. They could have easily collapsed. And man, zywoo was great through this whole game, but the recovery from Spinks is something special. What a performance from the newest addition to Vitality.
Surely, yes, and a nice way to get that tested really early on. You just you get a feel for it right away. We do have James ready for an interview with Megas.
Oh yes, I've got him straight away, and well, 2 games, new team, working out perfectly here, and it just seems like when you're looking at the role there with Spinks taken, just fitting in from Masuta, everything seems to be good even if he didn't play Inferno before. How was that?
I think he's been doing really good on Inferno as well, even though it's a new map for him. So obviously he needs some experience on it, but I think he has done pretty well on it. And he had a tough start on the map, but he ended out doing a lot of important kills and a really important clutch as well. So that was a really important game from him.
And what did you guys say to him after that clutch? Because that was the difference maker, right? That's where he started to like just actually show his full ability.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of cheered because it was really important. So we just gave him a lot of good words and told him that was really sick.
It definitely was. We'll see how the rest of it goes. Magic, thank you very much, and we'll keep it moving throughout this tournament and see if Vitality will continue to do all the damage.
I want to go all the way back, and let's talk about your time in TSM, which became TQM, which became the entity we all know as Astralis now eventually. That was, I mean, first of all, you stepped into that team out of the fetish era of the in-game leader, and he brought in great CT sides. He was great on defense. They were known for their defensive halves. Offensive sides really struggled, and obviously, at that time in the existence, a team known for not being able to get over the hump and kind of win the big games. When you stepped into that team, like what did you really feel like was kind of your focus as the leader? Like what did you identify as the problem that you wanted to fix to make this team get to the next level?
I think what I saw when I got the offer, I was pretty surprised because they're the best team in Denmark and one of the best in the world, right? Yeah. They just needed a little more extra to become the best. So yeah, when I got the offer, I was on the way out of CSGO basically, and I was on the way to finish my master degree. And
that's right.
Like, now CSGO is done. But they came in and I was like, okay, let's give it a year and see what happens. But one of the main concerns I had about the team was like, they felt flat on the T side. It felt like they had too slow paced and they were putting situations where they might do wrong decisions based off maybe some nerves and stuff like that. So I think what I brought was explosiveness. That means the players don't have to decide to go A or B in that moment. If I say A, we all explode and we trade. And I felt that made them better in that sense of how they reacted and we could trade. Yeah. Because that was the main concern when Fates played. It felt like so slow paced and it felt obvious where they went that they couldn't use the skills.
It's very readable, yeah.
Yeah, but the CT side was always good, so I didn't change anything to that. So I think I just brought a new identity, new ideas to the table that I've never seen before. And I'm come from a different era of CS, right? I came from 1.6 and they had a source caller. So I think it just gave some fresh ideas to the table, and I think that's why we also overcame the situation and won some tournaments in that year.
Yeah, you guys did manage to get some trophies, but as you mentioned, kind of the big ones always still eluded you. Is that mostly like the mental game that you kind of just touched on, and what kind of we saw from the outside was just pressure got to this team and got to these guys? Like.
Coming up to Astralis, they did not look so good coming into NIP. They didn't do well at the RMR as well. Do you feel confident? Do you feel like it's a good fit for you guys?
It's always exciting to play against them. I feel like I want to beat them for some reason. Like something with their legacy 3 or 4 years ago. Like it makes me want to beat them more. But I think they're a good team. I think maybe they cannot find the right things. But against NIP, it looked like they didn't have the right ideas and they didn't really play well. And they played obviously insane.
In best of ones, do you think they can be more cheeky though, and they could do something different? Like, could they give you a surprise?
They didn't give us a surprise, so we already beat it. So, but I feel like best of ones, pistol rounds is so good to have. So it's anyone's game, and you could see it in the RMR qualifier as well. Like online best of ones, it's crazy, right? So yeah, let's see what happens.
Well, you got the pistols last time. Let's see if you can get them again. Zip, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Astralis and OG. Not victorious in their opening games today, but luckily there are plenty of best of ones to go around. Launders, we're back. Counter-Strike is back. Back on the menu, and we got fresh rosters, we got a fresh new season, you've got fresh new glasses. There's a lot of new stuff going on.
Yes, I can finally see again. Yeah, okay, there we go. And I can hear again. There's a lot of good stuff. So the groups are going to be great. Great way to start off the second half of the year. And I think, you know, we've already witnessed some of these teams play today, and we'll get to see some more context as we move forward on the days. And this is kind of the part of the year, it happens a couple of times after a break where the upsets occur. I think this is where some good teams will be disappointing, and some teams that were grinding extra hard to make up for their disappointing starts will do a lot better, make some upset happens. And that's usually actually the formula for OG to provide some wins.